Hello, everybody. It is true. We are back with the Suikoden Stars of Destiny podcast. I think we're got to go back to episode one, but this is going to be called season 2020 because we took like a long, long break from recording a third episode of the podcast. But I am your one of your hosts, Marco Flores from Nerd in the Bay, and with me is the person that hates the most, Luca Blight. Luca, how you doing, man?
Doing great, man. How are you?
It's been a long time since we like one talked, and then two, like, since we did the last podcast. Like, how you been? I mean, not that is a catch up, but like how you been, like, as of recent?
Oh, it's definitely been a while. It's good to be back too. This has always been a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
Mine's been up and down, man. 2020 has been nuts.
Yeah,
Right? Like,
yeah.
I'm sure everybody can relate to that
Oh,
when
jeez.
it comes to COVID and like layoffs
Mm-hmm.
and the protests going on and all the fun stuff that isn't so fun going on.
Yeah, right. We gotta wait till what July has in store for us, and then August, and then we're just halfway done, and it's
Bro,
ridiculous.
the aliens are coming.
The aliens are coming. Mortal Kombat is about tournament is about to arrive. Shang
Yeah,
Tsung.
I'm so cool with Mortal Kombat, man. If they can give me some powers, Raiden can jump down, give me some powers. I will definitely
Sure,
fight
sure.
Mortal
You know what? I'm more than willing to like give this realm up too. Like, I'm done. I'm done with 2020 and this place.
Kombat.
Oh man.
Just
But
lose on purpose.
yeah, we'll just start all over. Hit the reset button. Why not? Sure.
Yeah, I think we might need a restart button.
Yeah. So so like I mentioned, it's been a while since the last episode, and the last episode, if you ever listen back to those previous episodes, was like Harmonia versus, what was the other, Harmonia versus
Highland.
Highland. That's right.
Yeah.
And we got lot of like good back and forth. People rooting for Highland, people for rooting for Harmonia, that sort of thing. So that was cool. That was awesome. And you, Luca, heard like a lot of like opinions about it and all that stuff. So on your end, which is pretty cool. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna talk about like what we've been up to lately, basically, since the last time we did the podcast, and what's been going on in 2020, and what we'll be talking about for today in this podcast episode, just to kind of put our feet in the water, and just try to figure this stuff out once again. But Luca, like, since the last time we did a podcast and what's been going on on 2020, like, what you been up to?
Well, it started off, I was still doing my Brave Exvius videos. The reviews have gotten a lot of good feedback.
Yeah.
I've started some Suikoden videos. Like I put out one that helps you cheat. Right?
Oh, okay, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
Right. You can, use, McDole from like almost the word go, right? If you
Yeah,
use
that's
these
right.
cheats, and you can use the black sword rune rather than the bright shield. So I had a lot of fun little cheats in there.
Yeah.
Showed people how to do it and what to use and everything, and a lot of people seem to really like that video. So that did well. Mostly Brave Exvius has been my YouTube focus, and it's done quite well. I've gained quite a few people on my own personal Discord channel
That's
and
cool.
YouTube and whatever. So
Yeah.
been pretty happy about that, growing a community. As for personal, COVID hit us pretty hard.
Yeah.
There's and then the layoffs. At first, when I got laid off, I was like, oh man, what am I gonna do? And then I was like, just bury myself in YouTube, right? So I was
Yeah.
just pumping out video after video after video, whether it had to do with the Suikoden or Final Fantasy Reunited or Final Fantasy VII remake. I did a bunch of stuff like that, Resident Evil. So I was doing all that stuff, and then this Black Lives Matter movement kind of popped up again.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know this, but I've been involved in it since like 2009. Not Black Lives Matter exactly, but in protest
Oh,
to
protesting.
police brutality.
Oh, wow, okay.
And stuff like that. Yeah, there's actually videos on YouTube of me arguing with press.
Oh, wow.
Like back when I was like 18 years old. And we thought we were gonna do something back then about it. We had a few times we had 800 to 1,000 people protesting, but nothing like we've been doing recently.
Oh, okay.
Recently, like, we had 10,000 people multiple times.
Wow.
Yeah, we had a lot of people, and if you showed up saw it on my Facebook or on my Twitter, I had like live videos of us marching
Yeah, I did
and
see some of those
protesting.
videos. Yeah, that was nuts.
Yeah, there's a lot of people, like we were all out there supporting, and
Hmm.
I had this stupid idea for some reason to climb up on this stone pillar.
Okay.
Oh, and I have these two signs,
Uh-huh.
and like I was just trying to get people to read the sign, and
Hmm.
didn't really think the media was going to start taking pictures of me, but I guess they did. And
Oh, okay.
so I was like, okay, well, at least my face is covered by this mask, because we were
Yeah.
all wearing masks, right? We're all 6 feet apart
Right, right.
for the most part until we started marching.
Yeah.
uh, we're all trying to be careful and everything.
Hmm.
Some of the protests got a little crazy.
Hmm.
Not on like our part, like we were just being peaceful. But we had people come in with black signs, right, being
Mm.
like no proof of systemic racism.
Hmm.
They have like all sorts of dumb things, and then we had people throwing stuff at us. And then in that very
Oh.
last protest, there's a white supremacist group. They call themselves the Proud Boys. They're idiots. They tried to run us down with their cars.
Oh, wow.
Really, yeah. We were out in front of City Hall,
Uh-huh.
and as we were crossing over to do the march over this around this big park, they came through with a truck and a couple cars and tried to run us down a couple
Oh,
times.
jeez. Was this
Yeah,
in front of cops?
no, they actually waited until, because the cops came around the other side to kind of block off the traffic, knowing where we were going. And then
Okay.
that's when these guys took this opportunity to come at us. And I'm not sure what happened of it. I don't know if the police ever saw,
Hmm.
the license plates or anything like that. I know someone did catch part of it on video,
Hmm.
but
Wow.
they've tried a few different things. Uh, so it's been eventful.
Yeah,
Uh,
to say the least.
the and then like my DMs are full of
Mm.
either one or the other. It's nowhere in between. It's one or the other. I either have people going, thanks for being on our side about this, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to have your support.
Yeah.
And then I either got other people's just trashing me left and
Yeah.
right. Like just saying some of the worst things, and
Yeah.
it's just like, wow. Right, like I got people clowning me like
Yeah.
on a daily, right? Sending me like, "Oh, purple lives matter, yellow lives matter, green
Mm-hmm.
lives matter," right? And sending me stupid things, fat lives matter, all this
Yeah.
dumb thing. Right? I'm just like, you know what, dude? Like, I'm not even gonna respond to you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, no, just really, yeah, like just don't even do that, and just keep doing your thing. Because like if you're getting a reaction out of this, like you're doing something, you know.
That's exactly it, right? If they feel the need that they have to come at me about this kind of stuff,
Yeah.
that means what we're doing is working.
Yeah, 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 for sure, man. Like I wish, I mean, me personally, wish like you the most utmost safety because like they're coming at you, they're trying to do something, like give you physical harm. So like, yeah, I'm hoping you guys will be staying safe and being protected as best as you guys possibly can, while protesting, you know.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna like get discouraged by this. I think
Hmm.
if anything, that makes us want to do it more. Like, if they're resorting to this, it's just exposing themselves,
Right.
right? So when people say these things to me, or if they go onto my Facebook page or whatever, or my Twitter, and they start bashing me publicly,
Hmm.
it just it shows the world who they are. I don't have to say anything or do anything. They expose themselves, and then when they
Right.
try to run us down with their truck,
Yeah.
I mean, that exposes them as well when they come in with signs
Hmm.
and throwing things at us and threatening us and all that kind of stuff. It's
Yeah.
showing them who they are. So
And social media is damn good on like finding out who these people are. Like I've seen like videos like these people either attacking or coughing on people or whatever, just doing like horrendous stuff, and it's like detective Twitter in particular are like insanely good at like, oh yeah, this is this person, this is where they work at, and doing all that. I'm like, man, these guys are faster than like some of these cops,
oh yeah,
you know.
oh yeah, like we had a few of them that have already been or like we already found out who they were,
Yeah.
and social media just put them on blast, right? They got fired from their jobs. So, this- it was like, was that really worth it, guys, to come and
Yeah,
try to run
right.
someone over? Now that you lose your job, or you're coming out and throwing things at people, coughing on people actually is a common thing I've been seeing during the protests.
That's
You'll get these
nuts.
jerk offs that come in and just cough at us,
Yeah,
and we're like, hey, stupid, we're wearing masks.
yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah.
coughing at us for no reason.
Right, right, right.
Like,
Yeah, yeah.
like it's like all you did is just get yourself fired.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
have
There
to
you go.
cough at me, you have to take your mask off,
Yeah.
which means I can see you.
Right, right. If you're showing your face, having a license plate number seen, the type of car, like people social media Twitter, detective Twitter is almost too good. But as long as but as long as it's for the the good reasons and not like oh because this
Cancel
like sort
culture,
of
that kind
drama
of stuff.
happened, yeah, cancel culture
Yeah.
and all that, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
well, I don't support that, but like some of these morons, like some of the ones that did try to run us over, they even
Hmm.
like posted it on social media.
Oh, like they
Thanks
were
for
proud
telling
of
us
it.
where your protest is.
Yeah,
We're not going to come run you over.
yeah, yeah,
Are you?
yeah.
And then you
Oh
actually
gosh.
tried it. Are you
Oh
stupid? Like
jeez.
you said you were going to do it, and then
Yeah.
you
You
tried it,
you
and
post
then
it
you
on your
think you're going to
personal
get away with
Facebook.
it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Not only that, like one of them posted it on like an actual news media outlet,
Oh,
and I'm like, wow,
yeah,
okay,
you just incriminated
that's
yourself
cool.
there. Yeah.
I was like, good job. Like, okay, I guess half props to you for actually going through with your crappy threat, but I mean,
Right.
you failed.
Yeah. Yeah. Jeez,
It's
man.
all right.
Wow. I mean, yeah. Like I said, wishing you like like utmost safety. Keep doing what you're doing, and that's awesome that you're protesting and you know giving a voice to people's lives who should matter. Like if it's not saying because like we live in a world where like oh no all lives matter. It's like well that's not the point. The point is if
Well,
black
my
lives
all
don't
lives can't
matter,
matter.
yeah,
Can't matter unless Black lives do.
exactly. That's the
Right? So
thing. That's the
you
main
can't
thing.
say that all the lives are going to matter if
Yeah,
one specific group is excluded.
yeah.
Then
You
you're
know,
when you're not saying all, you're saying most,
yeah.
and most isn't cutting it. We need
Hmm.
all of them. If you
Everybody.
want all of them, then you have to include Black Lives Matter,
Yeah.
right? So and I understand that there's some pushback because there's multiple Black Lives Matters things going
Hmm.
on, and like some of it's just disingenuous.
Hmm.
But the real group, the real Black Lives Matter group, the one that's peacefully protesting,
Yeah.
the
Not
ones that we're out there,
hmm
we're the
peacefully.
real ones, right?
Yeah.
We're out there peacefully protesting, and we actually have the correct message.
Hmm.
Not You can see through the bull, right? You
Hmm.
can see through the bull crap, right? You can see it. So just separate the crap.
Yeah.
Obviously, Black Lives Matter isn't the one rioting. They're not the ones burning stuff
Exactly.
down. They're the ones just peacefully protesting and trying to get awareness out,
Trying to
right?
stop
Trying to make
the damage
systemic
happen.
changes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to
Exactly.
make systemic changes, right? Like they were saying, like I got into a nice battle with one of them
Hmm.
during the protest, and they're like, all you do is yell about the problems, but you don't have any solutions. I was like, actually, I do if you care to listen.
Hmm.
And the dude actually stopped. He's like, okay, what's your solution? I was like, how about this? How
Hmm.
about all police officers have to have live feed body cameras on?
Yeah.
Right? So not, regular body cameras, you can just turn them off, right?
Yeah.
What if we have live feed body cameras with a like a division of the government that actually monitors all police
Hmm.
officers as they perform their arrests?
Yeah.
I'm like, the actual good police officers got nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
My other one here is that when doctors or like surgeons, when they get paid, they pay into a medical insurance,
Hmm.
right? So when someone dies on their operating table, right, they get sued for malpractice, it comes out of the insurance company, and then they
Hmm.
have to then pay higher rates, and then they also it goes on a permanent record that the public can see, right? The
Okay.
public sees it. This guy died on this table while this surgeon was operating on this date and was sued for it. Okay,
Hmm.
I don't want that surgeon as my surgeon,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
I think police should have the same thing. They should pay it into an insurance, and then when they have an incident, right, when they get sued for if they really hurt someone, or even worse, they killed them,
Yeah.
and they get sued, it comes out of the insurance, not out of the taxpayers' pockets.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it also goes on a permanent record that the public can see, hey, we don't want this guy in our community. He's he's killed 2 people that he got sued for.
He's flagged,
and then when he tries to
basically.
get a job at another, then they try to get a job at a different precinct.
Yeah.
The precinct looks at it, they go, wow, your insurance rates are really high. What did you do?
Yeah.
Okay, we're not going to hire you because people don't trust you.
Yeah.
That weeds out the bad police officers, right? And like, I just threw these solutions at him, and he had nothing to say. Nothing. He just stood there with a blank stare.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, what's your comeback now?
Yeah. Then he just left, and
Yeah, he just left.
Yeah.
That was it.
see, yeah, just having those
You know,
solutions.
you can't tell me I don't have solutions, like, because I mean, I got them. The rest of the Black Lives Matter do as well. Like the other one, I was saying that police officers should work hand in hand. I hear they actually do this in the Bay Area. So correct me if I'm wrong here. That police officers there actually do work with mental health professionals. So when they do get a call from somebody that is having some sort of mental break or whatever, the police don't come by themselves. They come with a mental health professional.
Ooh,
That's
okay.
something that I would like to see put across the board, right? In both United States, Canada, the UK. I think that should be across the board, as police work hand in hand with mental health professionals.
Oh, yeah.
That way we don't end up with these shootings because the police are not trained to deal with this situation.
See the signs of a mental health, like, yeah, for sure.
Right?
I don't know. I know, me personally, I don't know if that is correct. Like, I want to say it is, because I don't hear any cases regarding the Bay Area regarding, like, like some incident happening where, officer shoots a person that has mental health issues, or is, has prescribed with, like, mental illness. I don't hear any stuff like that. So it may be some form of truth, because I don't hear anything over here, but that should be across the board, because it's mental health is becoming more prevalent, because you got to see the signs. And when all these officers are shooting people that have all these signs, and yet all these officers don't know, like, the signs, what they are, and
we'll put it this way:
they need to know.
3 days ago, right here in my hometown, there was a wellness check.
Okay.
And someone that was having a mental break was shot and killed by police. And it's like that person was suffering a mental break, and if they'd had a mental health professional with them, they could have identified that and dealt with that situation.
Yeah.
You get people sharing these stupid memes of, like, a guy naked trying to fight a cop. Can't wait to see a mental health professional deal with this. They do daily, every single time, and they don't kill anybody. Right? So, this type of stuff can be dealt with. The other thing I said is when police need to have more training, right?
Yeah.
I'm actually not on the side of defund the police. I'm not, because I think we actually need more funding put into it. And what I mean by that is, so they keep saying, one police officer's salary can pay 3 mental health salaries. And while that's all good, well, and everything like that, what that tells me is mental health is not expensive. So why we can just invest more money?
Yeah, for sure.
It just tells me we can add to it. Why take away from something? We can add to it.
Yeah.
And then kind of retrain everybody. And I think we should have specialists, right? So when police pair up, right? They have partners.
Yeah.
I think that there should be one specific specialist, someone that's very good at talking situations down, getting people to come in peacefully. Then you have another guy that's trained for the really bad situations, right?
Yeah.
So I think there should be specialists, and I think there should be more like a 3-way partnership. You have a specialist of talking someone down, someone that has to deal with the really bad situations, also a mental health professional.
Yeah.
I think we should have more communication and just better training. Like, I hear stuff like police get like 2 hours of training a month, and some places like
that does nothing
months.
Out of the whole scope.
That's nothing, right?
Yeah.
How are they supposed to be able to deal with 2 hours of training and then get thrown into a really bad situation?
Yeah.
Like, put it this way, like I boxed for 8 years. And any time that I was not sparring for long lengths at a time, and then I got back in there, I was terrible. I didn't know how to react properly. I was slow. Ring rust. What do you think happens to a police officer? They get out there,
exactly,
and all of a sudden this situation happens, and they haven't dealt with it. They haven't enough training, and then they do something that they shouldn't do. And I'm not just trying to say, oh, police are innocent. They're definitely not, right?
Yeah,
I'm just saying that there's situations that can be in our control.
Like, can be avoided, and and suppressed too, like, just in a way where the bad scenario doesn't happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Like with George Floyd, I mean, everybody can see, like, that was just flat out, that was a murder. That was horrible. It was torture.
Yeah.
I think it was probably race driven, just based on who that guy was. And there's just so much proof going out there that Black Americans are much more likely to end up on a bad end of a gun from a police officer, and I think all this stuff needs to change.
Yeah,
I don't want to spend too much time on that. I don't want to take up your whole podcast talking about.
It's okay, man. It's
so involved.
It's a passionate, like, topic still, because even on Twitter, like, the news media are not showing all the protests that are still happening. Like, it's still in big numbers, but it's still happening. Social media is showing that protesting is still happening. And what does this have to do with a Suikoden podcast or the game itself or the series? Well, like we deal with, in the game where we play and we all love about, it deals with social injustice. It deals with like government injustices and all this stuff. Like it kind of correlates almost one and the same in different scenarios, and like we need to be aware of that and identify that. So like wherever you are in this fence of like whether you're all lives matter or Black Lives Matter, like and what does this have to do with the game? Like it's pretty much hand in hand, because they're.
Well, I can give an example right away.
Yeah, go for it.
Right in the first game. Okay, it doesn't take long for us to see that the Empire is targeting the elves.
Yeah, exactly.
The elves are their own people, and I get that they're fictional, right? I get that these are a fictional race, but they are targeted, and to some degree the dwarves are as well, and the kobolds. Right?
Yeah,
the kobolds are
used as soldiers,
targeted.
Yeah,
and they're seen by the Empire as beasts.
Right.
Wanda even says it while he's under the control of Windy.
Yeah,
he's like, I have control of beasts. Kobold, how are you sane?
Yeah,
he's saying, how is this kobold able to fight him? He's just a beast. So it's showing racism towards the kobolds. It's showing racism towards the elves. They tried to exterminate the elves and almost succeeded.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of racism there. As for and then you want to talk about people of color in Suikoden. There's a lot more people of color in Suikoden than other JRPGs. A lot more.
Yeah.
In my experience, it is the only JRPG I've ever played where one of the main characters was a person of color.
Yeah,
and that's Hugo in Suikoden 3.
There you go. Yeah.
Right. I don't think. Right. I've gone through all the Final Fantasies in my mind. I've gone through like Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross, all of that stuff. I was trying to think of it. I was like, I can't think of a main character. Like I know, like Final Fantasy II had one in the main cast, but he wasn't the actual main character.
Right.
So I believe Hugo might be the only
one.
Like, if someone knows different, let me know in the comment section below. But I do believe that he is the only main character in a JRPG to be a person of color. But even like right off the hop, we see Kazuma Hazel. I mean, he's in my opinion, he seems Middle Eastern to me.
Yeah.
Crowley, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm not sure about him.
Maybe like a sojourner, like traveler, like you don't really know, sort of thing.
I'm not quite sure about him. He does seem to have some sort of Eastern vibe to him. And then we have, like, speaking in 2, we have Hauser. I mean, that guy's awesome.
Yeah, right.
Like
being the right hand of
Annabelle and Jess.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoever's going to be the mayor or muse, that guy's going to be the military that defends it, right? They even go in to say, without Hauser, Muse would never have been able to stand the way it did against its enemies.
Exactly.
Great general, great character. Just we see he's very important. Bob, I believe, was Jamaican.
Yeah.
The guy that transforms into the werewolf.
Right.
Then we
in
have
Two River.
We have Chief Lucia, who again is a very prominent character in both Suikoden 2 and 3. Obviously a person of color from a warrior tribe village in the grasslands. Right? We have Seamus from Suikoden 3. He traveled with Lily. As like her accountant.
That's right.
She used to spend too much money.
Yeah.
Piccolo, I believe Piccolo was also. I think he might have been Indian.
Sure. There's not a question, but like he is darker skin, so like there's not to pinpoint exactly because we don't know, right? We don't know. Piccolo was just like, let me just sell you some lottery tickets and fortunes.
He felt like he had like an Indian vibe to him.
Yeah.
Like, just like I think he was probably based off that culture. Obviously, I'm not saying these people are that culture. I'm saying that they're
how they're portrayed and stuff like that. Yeah, for sure.
Right, like Martha. Also from Suikoden 3. I felt like she was like Native American. Just the way she carried herself and just the way she was portrayed. It felt like that way. Suikoden 3 is extremely inclusive. Like it might be the most inclusive JRPG I've ever played in my life.
Yeah.
And it's definitely the most inclusive in all of Suikoden, which says a lot because Suikoden is very inclusive. Right, and then Halleck, I'm not sure about Halleck.
Yeah.
They make him out to be like a barbarian because he's from the Nameless Lands. But when I was younger, I always thought of Halleck was like he just didn't speak the same language as everyone because he didn't seem stupid, right? He didn't seem dumb at all.
Yeah, no, he was just limited in his language.
Yeah, I felt like that. Like when he was given instruction by Apple or any of them. Caesar, when he was given instruction, he followed it to the T.
Yeah.
Right? He was very, very good at that, and he understood well. So I didn't think he was dumb at all. So he might be also, kind of based off of a Native American or Indonesian or something like that.
Yeah.
As he was definitely darker, and he was very strong, and he's just a good character that I thought was kind of underrated.
Yeah.
And then
you have Alia, being with the in Suikoden 3, just being with that that mercenary group, like, because of the whole conspiracy of the Karaya clan, and like, oh, who's attacking who, and then Alia was just off on her own, and then join in with this group of like just like it was a melting pot, because with Godot and Joker and it's like, well, who else was out there, but like Alia was just happened to be there, and then just tagged along, and
and what was so interesting about her is you really saw their culture through her.
Yeah.
Right. So when you saw Lucia and Luce and Beckham, those ones, I mean, they were in it, but they were also they were mostly there through story, and they didn't have a ton of interaction. But when Alia was in the story, she kept talking about the spirits, and then this thing of ancestors, and she actually used the spirits of her ancestors to track Sarah's magic.
That's
and,
right. Yeah.
She explains that when you use magic like that, the spirit starts screaming, and then Sarah gets this realization, like, oh wow, the Karaya clan is actually very intuitive with the magical forces of the world. We have to basically be careful about them, right?
Yeah.
So like there's Anne, Lucia, Hugo, Luce, Alia, Beckham, they're all from the Karaya clan, which is in my opinion very African derivative. Right? Like it feels like they were very inspired by Africans. They especially with the spirits, and then like the way they look, and how they they present themselves as a warrior tribe, but also they do have the ability to trade with others, and like form alliances, which they have in the grasslands, even amongst the grasslands, who have like giant lizards fighting.
That's right.
The Karaya clan is seen as the warrior clan, right?
Yeah.
You're thinking, that's the one, and that's the one that the Zexan army targeted a lot, was the Karaya clan. That's the one that they burnt to the ground, right?
Right.
Well,
exactly.
Luke kind of did. But,
yeah. Instigated it, and
Right. So that one's very, very inclusive. I really like Suikoden 3 for that reason.
Yeah, I do too. Let me see. I'm going through I have the Suikoden website up, wiki up, so I'm like looking through people, and you mentioned a lot of them. Like for whatever reason, like with the attitude maybe of let me see, where is he? Ridley from Suikoden 2. The attitude, the demeanor of Ridley, that militant, like discipline, like, and I mean, yes, he's a dog and he's a kobold and all that stuff, dark skin and whatever, but like I had that vibe from him as well, even though like if you ask like the creators of the Suikoden 2, they did mention that Two River was like a representation of the Philippines, of all the like the most.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's they mentioned that. But like with Ridley, I didn't get that Filipino vibe from him. I got more, for me personally, like a black person vibe of just a strong, like discipline. In the military, training soldiers and stuff like that. But like he gave me that vibe of like just a black character.
Sure. I can see that for sure, because I remember he was very quick to defend his people from prejudice,
right?
Like he was very quick to don't trust the Highland Army, and like also don't trust the people around him that he thinks that they're going to be prejudiced towards the kobolds. And actually Shu used that in a strategy, which is kind of cool, that faked a defection, but it wasn't true.
Right.
Another fun fact is actually Boris, Ridley's son, actually went to go train in the Nameless Lands, where Halleck's from.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So that's kind of cool. Maybe he got some of that personality from there.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he seems different than the rest of the kobolds, right? Like Ridley seems specifically different.
Yeah.
So, that could be it.
I'm looking at let's see, Zagai from Suikoden 5. I mean, like, I mean, darker complexion skin, but like I mean, well, one, he looks strong, and we're looking at the wiki page coming from the New Arms Kingdom, and New Arms was a melting pot at itself too. Just I mean, like seeing from the characters that came from Suikoden 5 from the New Arms Kingdom area or the location area, nobody looked the same. Everybody looked somewhat different, very diverse. Even though they were trying to take over Falena in that portion of the game.
Zagai and Nakula, they reminded me of American natives, right? Native Americans.
Okay.
In kind of like Apaches.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like very, they're warriors, and they have a lot of pride and a lot of honor, right? So that's the way I viewed Zagai and Nakura, was because it wouldn't back down, but they also had like that self pride. They had that well, especially Zagai was very, very calm, and was able to he understood how life should be, and then that's why he kind of distanced himself from people. They kind of reminded me of the Native American people.
Yeah, no, that also makes sense.
Maybe they got it from them, but
yeah. Okay.
It's just Zagai is always in my party. I always have Zagai. He's a staple.
He was solid when you got him in the beginning, and he was just solid all the way through. You just had to buff up his strengths, and if you wanted to buff up his weaknesses, that's okay too. But he was much better when you buffed up his strengths.
And he didn't really feel that weak even for his weaknesses.
Right.
Magic defense might have been a little low, but it wasn't that bad.
But
he could overcome it pretty easily.
He was pretty solid. What do you think of? Did you ever play Tierkreis, the DS game?
I started playing it somewhat recently.
Okay, so
I'm not a big fan of it, to be honest.
Yeah, it basically was just putting the name on a game, really.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, I'm putting up Resno. I don't know if you're in the portion where you met the Osterfolk. They kind of have let's see. They kind of look like minotaurs, but they're two-legged. But they're big, big German, but dark-skinned, people, basically. And yeah, they just look strong and stuff like that. So I mean, they're dark-skinned, but not to say that they're actually they portray as a black person or that sort of thing. But I mean, I'm looking at them right now, and it's they just portray that strong, stature, I guess. So that's why I'm asking you, where are you in Tierkreis?
I didn't get far.
You didn't get far? Did you stop it, or did you quit? Or
yeah, basically. Because,
okay.
I was maybe resemble somewhat of the other Suikoden's, and it just didn't. It didn't really do it for me.
Okay, gotcha.
Eventually, I plan on sitting down and give it a try, but as of right now, I wasn't really big into it. Even the story, it wasn't really grabbing me, So I was it might feel like it just had the name just slapped on it,
Okay, gotcha.
So I kind of stick to the main series.
Yeah.
Because I like continuations, right? I like the stories intermingling. That's why I always love Suikoden. You could play, if you played one, you understood the rest.
Right. Yeah.
You played one, and you could play one and then skip 3 of the games, and then you would still understand what's going on.
How the flow of the game goes as a Suikoden game, yeah, for sure.
Who didn't go nuts when they saw Ted in Suikoden 4?
Right, yeah.
Right, you didn't have a single character for the longest time that other than Vicky and Jean, right?
Yeah,
when you saw them, you're like, holy crap!
Right? Oh dang, they're
But then when you saw Ted, I was like, holy crap, that is amazing, right? So if you could play Suikoden 1, not play 2 or 3, and then see 4 and go, hey, look, Ted's there.
Yeah.
There's always a character that is going to grab your attention from a previous game, right? In Suikoden 2, you wake up from a fall and there's Victor, you thought he was dead at the end of Suikoden 1, right? You're like, oh man, there's Victor. Oh my God, there's Flick. You're really happy about that. So, Suikoden 3. Who didn't love just seeing Futch just
with this big old sword now and Bright, with
I'm assuming it's Humphrey's sword. just walking up with that big Humphrey sword.
Yeah.
With Bright is fully grown now.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Running into Tuda.
Oh yeah, a grown
just,
Tuda.
He's just treating people in a village.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's amazing, right? And then you're playing 5, and the first thing you see is George Bryan.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, who didn't go nuts on
that? Right.
Like there's always these characters that are gonna grab your attention from a previous game.
Yeah.
Which is why the other spin-off series didn't really grab me, because I didn't have that connection.
Yeah. Okay, I gotcha. What'd you think about like Jewel from 4? Like what kind of vibe did she give you? Like just regular person, or just?
Yeah, it just felt regular to me.
Yeah.
The only one that really stuck out to me in 4 was Gao.
Yeah.
Because Gao was very different.
Yeah, very
wild boy. And,
very Blanca-like.
It also felt ripped off though, because like, I mean, what does this sound like to Final Fantasy fans?
Yeah.
A wild boy named Gao that you find in the wilderness with a bunch of animals.
Yeah.
Oh, it sounds like Gao.
It's Gao for Final Fantasy.
Right, so, I mean, that stuck out to me because he seems to be the only one that was super different. 4 felt the most generic out of all of them.
Okay.
And so that, just to me anyway.
Yeah.
That was probably because it's a lot of islands and a lot of navy, and 4 kind of gets a bad rap on a lot of things, but in fact, I actually thought their item system was the best in the whole series.
I enjoyed 4. I mean, like you had to deal with all of that, but like 4, it had its charm, because I think because it was different, and like if you once you got it down, then like okay, yeah, I got it. You're good to like navigate through the game. But like if you didn't, then yeah, you would be very much turned off about it.
Didn't like the Ney kobolds, but actually liked them. I like them a lot.
Oh, they're fine. They're fine with me.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I was like, nah, cool. Like that guy was all right, whatever. But I love Chipu. Chipu was great.
Yeah.
Right. That guy brought life to the game.
Yeah.
For a lot of that first like quarter of the game, I was like, man, I don't like any of these characters. I didn't like Tal. I didn't like Kenneth. I hated Snow.
Yeah. Right.
Right. So,
yeah. Spoiled rich kid.
Yeah. So like, there's a lot of characters in there that it just didn't really enjoy.
Yeah.
But Chipu was different, right? So I was just like, okay, it's a little better there. The Return of the Elves was nice, right? So we had some elves in there, and so that was always nice to have. But yeah,
I think 4 was trying to, but like it was showing like this is the old like set of characters. Like this happened first. That's why they act old, and maybe they're more generic looking. And you have mermaids, it was a prequel, and like nothing was established yet, or like some things weren't established yet that it wasn't in part 1 and in part 2 and that sort of thing, in part 3. So that's I feel like that's what made the characters like more blandish, but like maybe there wasn't much then to do or to like establish yourself as like, because go ahead.
What you need in a game is an overwhelming villain. Right, and in Suikoden 1, that was Windy.
Yeah,
that was just obviously she was manipulating everything. In Suikoden 2, it was Luca Blight.
Right. Yeah.
Don't toot my own horn, but
yeah,
Blight.
Yeah.
In Suikoden 3, it's Luke and his unholy trio. Right?
Yeah.
In 4, it's like they couldn't determine who it was, and it ended up being Graham Cray, and I love Graham Cray. I think he's actually the most underrated villain in the series. I think he's one of the best villains in the series.
Yeah.
But it's almost like they couldn't determine who they wanted to be that final fight.
Yeah.
And the problem with it was like when you killed Luca, you had like that satisfaction, like oh my god, like
game over.
Like,
we're done.
It was like a relief.
Yeah.
It was a relief. You're like,
weight's lifted.
The big bad guy is gone.
Yeah.
Right. When Windy got dropped off a castle, you're like, oh man, I kind of wish I did it, but at least she's dead. Or, as you assume she's dead. Luke, it was like, man, you deserve that. You're a jerk.
Yeah.
In 4, when you fought Troy, you felt guilty. At least I did. it was like Troy did not seem like a bad guy at all. They showed
Yeah,
like his human side to him a lot, and I
his
was just like,
family
okay,
and
how am I supposed to hate this guy?
yeah.
Know what I mean? And like they made him the final fight, and I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't like it. I think we should have just stuck to Cray
Mm-hmm.
and just like, I mean, look at him. He's definitely a villain.
Mm-hmm.
But then like you added in his backstory, like 4 was a lot of humanizing the villain,
Mm-hmm.
right? So like the whole reason why Graham Cray was after the rune was just so he could simply see
See
his
his
son
family.
again.
Yeah, exactly.
Like his the little boy there, right? That's why he asks about the little boy, right?
Yeah.
And the reason why he wants that rune back is simply he's willing to torture himself,
Mm-hmm.
the memories and like the curse of this rune simply so he can see his son. So now you're like, oh, I don't hate him anymore.
Yeah.
You're like, what are you
That's
guys
true.
doing to me?
Yeah, I was actually wondering if, like, as I was playing it almost like the first time, I was wondering if the Rune of Punishment was going to be the bad guy, at the end.
That would have been great.
I thought,
That
yeah.
would have been fantastic.
Yeah.
If the rune itself was the villain, that would have been awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, so, like, characters, that kind of portrayed, like, or that are notably, like, in terms of, like, a color complexion. Jewel? Yeah, Jewel, Jewel, we were talking about Jewel, but we were end up tangenting about 4. But, like, I think you're right in terms of, like, role-playing games that are out there that has, like, a prominent, like, character as, like, a person of color or black, if you want to say. It has only really been Suikoden, because I mean, if you think of Final Fantasy 13, Zaz was, I mean, he was all off to the side, but like, we do have Barrett. Of course, we have Barrett. Yeah, right. Of course.
But I was
talking about remake.
Like more of like Cloud is the main character.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. The story revolves around Cloud,
mm-hmm.
right? And Barrett's there as a supporting role. Mm-hmm. But Hugo, I mean, if you choose him to be your flame champion, mm-hmm. which seems to be the proper way to go.
Yeah.
Right, like he has really good fire magic. He seems to have majority of, he's the young guy, right? Like Suikoden has always gone through, Suikoden 1, McDowell was like 16.
Yeah.
Rio was like 16. Right, it always goes towards the young hero, right? So that's why it just felt like Hugo should be the flame champion. So that's why I'm considering him the main character. At least he was one of 3. And yeah, he was a person of color, right? He was from the Karaya clan. And I went through so many RPGs that I've played in my head, and I'm like, I don't think I can think of a main character being a person of color except for Hugo.
Yeah, as I'm listening, I'm trying to think myself. I'm being a little distracted because fireworks are being played. Is somebody shooting fireworks right now? But like
4th of July, right?
4th of July, yeah. What can you do? But yeah, you're right. Like I can't really think of anybody else that was a main character that was a person of color. In that sense, but yeah, I mean, Suikoden kind of like almost paved the way, but like just it had more broke the mold, and it kind of like it did it itself. Like they did it too, like they did it themselves, rather than like keeping it like, oh, it's just like, oh, it's a white character, Japanese character, whatever, keep them like that quote unquote main character, like light skin complexion sort of thing. So like Suikoden wasn't afraid to branch out and portray other character types and like race, color, and all that stuff. So
well, you might actually argue that Suikoden 3 had the best protagonists, right? You had the best main characters because they had actual personalities,
right?
In Suikoden 1, 2, 4, and 5, it's all based on your decisions. There's no actual dialogue.
Yeah.
In Suikoden 3, we actually have Hugo talking about his ancestors, talking about his spirits, talking about his life as a warrior, wanting to be a warrior, wanting to be like his mother, accepted and loved by his mother. You have these actual relationships built by Hugo and Sergeant, and with the other clans members, and eventually his drama with Chris, and he had actual personality. So you could argue that Suikoden 3 actually had the best main heroes because they had actual story built into them,
that you can relate to them.
Yeah, like you can, well, like when you're walking around with Tur,
Mm-hmm.
basically like McDowell, like you're walking around, you're like, okay, I felt bad for you with Gremio, I felt bad for you
Mm-hmm.
with Ted, and I
Yeah.
felt bad for you for your dad.
Yeah.
But at these points, I'm actually feeling bad for myself. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh man, I like these characters and I have to kill them.
Yeah.
When something happens to Hugo, you actually
Oh
feel
yeah.
bad for Hugo,
Yeah.
right? So it was like, oh wow, I'm actually watching this person's life, not just experiencing their life. So
Yeah.
it felt different, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure, for sure. And then, like, yeah, then it went out of the mold of like putting Thomas as the main star, quote unquote. Um,
Yeah.
but like, yeah, you did see Hugo's life unfold, and it kind of was on a dire turn because like his village was like in flames. Characters that are like people that he loved, were getting killed left and right, that sort of thing, and it almost hardened him to be like, I gotta be more mature than where I am now because like all this is happening and we gotta win, you know.
Well, the fact that he has to fight side by side, but with the person that killed his best friend,
Right. Yeah.
is just like it's just like mind blowing. It's
Yeah.
like wow,
Yeah.
and then like when he collapsed
Mhm.
due to Lulu's death and not being able to beat Chris and
Yeah.
his village being burnt down, he's like ready to give up, and then Sergeant grabs him and is just like,
Yeah.
shakes him. He's like, you're a warrior, act
Mhm.
like it.
Mhm.
There's a time for mourning and there's a time for fighting. And
Yeah.
this is a time for fighting.
Yeah.
And so you saw that relationship between Sergeant and Hugo. Like Sergeant was his rock, right?
Mhm.
Like that
Right.
was
Yeah. Exactly.
like his guy.
Yeah.
But if you think back to the other Suikodens, nobody really had that,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
It was like, here's a choice. You basically have to make this one,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's never like, the only thing I can think of that even comes close is if you choose to run away in Suikoden 2,
Right.
she will slap you upside the head and be like, what's wrong with
Yeah.
you? Because you really died.
Yeah.
That's and you know what? You feel terrible for even doing that.
Yeah.
But like this, you actually see it unfold.
Mhm.
And then like, when Sergeant tells you like,
Mhm.
don't fight
Mhm.
Uber because you're gonna get your ass kicked.
Yeah.
And Hugo is like, screw this, I'm gonna fight him.
Yeah.
And then gets owned.
Yeah.
Sergeant's just like, told you
I
so.
told you.
Right?
What's wrong with you?
Right? And he's just like, you're lucky to be alive. It must be that Karayan blood in you, right?
Yeah.
From Chief Lucia. You have this relationship that is built throughout the game that it just seems better than the others.
Yeah.
So I think Suikoden 3 not only broke the mold for having a person of color as their main character, but they put way more development into this character
Yeah.
than any of the other ones prior to it, or even after it.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. It just, I mean, I guess people were just turned off. I mean, of course, people were just turned off by like, the graphical change and being 3D and almost the battle.
Yeah, that's a rough time.
The battle system
rough
too.
time,
Like,
guys.
if you didn't know how the battle system like was working, then you had a bad time. But like, if you optimize it to like the most damage output, then like it almost was a breeze if you just paired up the right people.
Oh, right. That's absolutely.
Yeah, if you just mounted your mounts and then like you're good, that's it. That's it. That's all you needed.
But another thing with Suikoden 3 that was better than the first two was the final boss felt like a final boss.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Like in Suikoden 2, the final boss, in my opinion, wasn't as built up as Luca. Right? Like Luca's built way more up.
Oh yeah.
And then when you fight the Emperor, you have no relationship with the Emperor other than two prior incidents, right? You meet him in the beginning of the game where he's just like this lovable guy.
Yeah.
And then you meet him with Fudge, and again, he's a lovable dude. So you have no animosity towards this
Yeah.
person, man. You hate Windy, and then you fight this two-headed dragon out of nowhere, or three-headed dragon out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I didn't really feel like that was a huge battle. Whereas like when you fought Luke at the end and he conjured up his wind rune with all the other powers of the runes, you're like, if I lose,
that's it.
He blows up a continent.
Yeah.
He blows up, like he ends a million lives.
Yeah.
He genocides everyone. It felt like an actual final battle. They kind of remimicked that in Suikoden 5 with the Sun rune.
Okay.
But I mean, Godwin ruined it by being like, I was never going to destroy Flint. I'm like, oh, screw you, dude.
Yeah.
Screw you.
Yeah.
Like,
it became the politics almost overbeared the rune, the power of the rune, or the story of the rune itself.
Oh, it absolutely did.
Yeah.
There was way too much politics in 5.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna have a gripe with 5, it's that.
Yeah.
The 5's battle system was fantastic, probably the best in the game.
Yeah.
I really like the formations. They brought back the superior parties. The characters were really well done. You got to see George Prime's backstory. That was fantastic. You got to see the royal family and how they intermingle and everything. That was kind of cool. But there was too much politics that went on in that. You know, like, ugh. But you know, you got to give him Sileeds. Sileeds is a good character.
Yeah, no, Sileeds was a great character, and
it was one of the biggest betrayals ever.
Yeah, because she was with you in the beginning, and then yeah.
Well, you had the War One. You had the War One. And
yeah.
Like, no,
oh, this is it. This is it. This is when I'm gonna make my moment. I'm like, dude, Auntie, what's going on here? You know? Oh man. Well, yeah. I mean, so yeah, I think that'll do it for the episode. Like, you kind of went around, but we were, we're talking about like the prominent people of color characters, in the Suikoden series, and there's a lot of characters, which was the main thing. It wasn't just like this one archetype, one quote unquote race. It was a bunch of it was multiple races too. Like you're talking about, the kobolds and what were the cat people? Kobolds and mermaids and beavers and lizard clan, and I mean, if you ever played the Tierkreis, there's like minotaur like people, there's werewolf people, like dwarves, elves, yeah. So like Suikoden definitely went the broad range of race and color and all that stuff. So yeah, I mean that's what we're basically talking about in this episode. We went all over the place, but we had to just dip our toes in and stuff like that. So whenever the next episode is going to be, and we'll have a next episode. Don't worry, you guys. We'll definitely be like on point as we get reacquainted with all the things that we got to do to get ready for a podcast. But that's it for the episode. Hope you guys enjoyed us tangenting and listening and watching. If you're watching on the video side, it's a let's play of my let's play of Suikoden. And then if you're listening on the listening side, I hope you guys enjoyed the topics talked about. So I mean, Luca, thank you for being here once again, and hopefully we can do another one really near soon, in the near future, so we can be as consistent as best as possible with all the things that are going on. So thank you, Luca.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. So Luca, where can they find you? Where your channel, social media, all that stuff. Where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter. That's been a hot one for a while there.
Sure, yeah.
Not gonna get back into that.
Yeah.
Facebook again, another hot one, and then YouTube, of course. So on Facebook, I'm King Luca Blight.
Okay.
And then on Twitter, I'm Luca with 2 underscores with Blight, right. And you can find me at 2 underscores Blight at Twitter. Okay. And then over here on YouTube, of course. I'm just Luca Blight, which is a little bit hard to find sometimes. But if you put in Luca Blight with Final Fantasy Brave Exvius next to it, you will definitely find me.
There you go. Cool. What are you doing on your channel, as of recent? What's the last set of videos have you done?
Brave Exvius reviews.
Okay.
I'm also, because I find a character that they recently bring out, and then I'll break down each move set, what their passives are, how good they are, where they rank in damage, where they rank in tanking, that kind of stuff. And then I'm actually starting something new where it's Final Fantasy Brave Exvius for beginners, and this can be a hard game to get into. Right, this game is there's a lot thrown at you. It's you have chaining, you have finishing, you have tanking, and you have magic mitigation and physical mitigation and buffing and breaking. Right, there's all this crazy stuff going on, and the new players are so overwhelmed. I'm going to start this new one where we go little by little and break it down.
Oh, that's cool. That's good.
This is how you train. This is how you do that. So we're definitely going to do that.
Awesome. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, so definitely go to Luca Blight's channel if Final Fantasy Brave Exvius interests you, and all the other stuff that he's doing as well. Check out his channel. Check out his videos. It's a lot of good stuff. For me, I'm at Nerd in the Bay everywhere. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. The channel is Nerd in the Bay. We've been playing a lot of different games recently. We're playing Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. We're playing Fist of the North Star, Lost Paradise. We added some new game series like Art of Fighting. I'm going back to the old arcades, playing Art of Fighting. I'm playing what else am I playing now? DOA, like Dead or Alive 6 story mode. A lot of fighting game stuff, because that I guess for a while I've been kind of craving to play a fighting game, and this is my way of getting scratching that itch. So that's what I'm doing on the channel. My at Marco Polo 177 is my personal Twitter. I retweet everything and talk about everything, so you'll definitely see a variety of things I'm talking about. But prevalently the protests and Black Lives Matter and all. I'm forgetting the military person's name, Vanessa Gillian, I think, that unfortunately passed away due to like just kind of army covering up sort of thing. Is kind of like what's going on right now too. So that's all. That's all that's going on my Twitter and my personal Twitter. So yeah, I mean, just come check it out. Come see us. Come subscribe to our channels. Watch our videos. It'd be appreciated. And thank you for watching and listening to the podcast. Whatever you're doing, whether you're on the video side or the audio side on Anchor, or wherever you get your podcasts. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time for the next episode of the Stars of Destiny podcast, your only Suikoden podcast that is out there right now. So take care, guys. Have a wonderful day. It's 4th of July, so have a, I guess, wonderful 4th of July if you're celebrating or if you're not, whatever you choose to. So take care, guys. Peace.
See you later.